I messed up somewhere there, man. What's going on, man? Welcome to the live stream. Pull it this way. So one thing I've been working on, man. I've been working on trying to stay consistent because one thing I know for sure, the reason why people get stagnant. Hello there. Yes, Selena. Hello there. Welcome to the stream. What's going on, man? How y'all doing, man? What's up? I'm wearing the fish hat again. I'm the first one in here. How y'all doing, man? How you say that? Active pony mo. Yeah, yeah. Whatever that is. I like. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. How y'all doing? How's y'all? It's Saturday. Wow, it's Saturday. 124 in 1 sec. What is that? Is that a movie? I was just gonna get on here, man, and just talk to y'all. What I'm gonna start doing now is I'm gonna start doing weekly updates where I'm just here live with y'all and just talking about all the things that I'm working on throughout the week, goals, and also to answer any questions that y'all have, any tips or advice or anything. I do the best I can to help out, you know. But how everybody doing? Welcome to the live. I'm heading home right now. I'm about to game for a little bit. I like to play Siege, so see get some practice reps in. I'm trying to play music, but last time I played music, it threw the stream off. So I'm trying not to do that. Appreciate the subs. Appreciate the subs. Let me see here. See, I got a FaceTime call. Man, this yogurt parfait from Chick-fil-A, man, I'm telling you, it would change your life. Like, let's see here. Oh, let me text someone's back. I know what I'm doing right now is crazy, but it's only because I'm driving in a straight line. All right. I don't recommend it. I got some of my homies that are trying to get online, but I don't know what game we're trying to play. We usually like to play Battlefield 6, but I don't know. Last time I tried to get online, man, Mugs didn't get on. So, oh shit, I didn't realize that was all still talking. Messed around and caused me to say the wrong. Would you stop tracking my dang voice? What the heck? Cancel. That is crazy. That voice recognition there didn't stop. Hello there. Welcome to the live, man. Welcome to the live stream. So what I'm thinking about doing is, for those that just joined, is just showing up, man, being consistent. So what I'm gonna do. So I got some goals this week. I want to work on this week. I have a habitual habit of getting to work late. I have a bad habit of. I needed that bell. Excuse me. Let me see something right quick. Whew. I needed that bell right there. See what we got going on right here. Temporarily, but it's all good. They'll get over it. Go ahead and turn this that way. I know what it is when you back up in the parking spots and shit. All right, what's going on, man? How y'all doing, man? How's the Saturday treating you? I'm not too long just getting off work. Work was cool. It was all right. It helped pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? So let's see here. Let's see here. LOL, my bad, y'all. Comma. Wait, so are we getting online tonight or question mark? I like how it pops up and says encrypted. Let me see what other stuff I could do in this thing. But yeah, so one of the goals I said I was going to work on this week, man, is just getting to work earlier. I have a bad habit of just getting to work a little late. Um, I'm not the most happy about it because, you know, not supposed to be doing that. You're an adult, you got a job, you know what I'm saying? But I'm human, so I try to take note of where I'm falling short in that regard, being accountable, and that's one thing that you got to have is that the relationship with yourself, your best relationship, man, is the one you have with yourself. So on days where life is being difficult, stuff's not working in your favor, those are the moments where you just want to lock in and think about what would this look like if it worked in my favor. And that's what I try to work on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes where I'll be out and about, maybe I'm at the gym, a coffee shop or something like that, and I might be frustrated about something, or somebody might be rude. Like one thing I have is a big. Let me tell y'all this is random, but let me tell y'all this one. So I got a pet peeve when I go to a coffee shop, gas station, or something, and people are right in my space. That's a big pet peeve because you're in my bubble. I don't know what you're doing. I don't need you up that close to me, right? So what it is like my thing is with that, which is where I just can't stand it, is at the moment that someone's in my space, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, you know what? Should I check them? Should I say something? I'm like, should I say something to them about like, hey, can you get out of my space? Now you got to pick and choose your battles here. That's one thing I had to learn was that with in those situations, you got to get good at picking and choosing your battles. And for me, even though it's my biggest pet peeve, it's something I have to be mindful of. Because if I'm sitting here chilling, what I mean, I'm sitting in the line, about to get my stuff and everything, and you gonna get in my space. Don't get mad at me if I turn around, and be like, "Yo, back up!" Because like I said, I don't know what you're doing, So let me see here. Look, let's see. Can I change the? Yeah. So we're gonna do. Let's do this right quick. Does pineapple? I'm over it. I'm over it. All right. Jeez. All right. I'm gonna put that right there. Back. Put that right there. Oh, it won't, I was about to say, if you don't let me adjust this mug. All right, cool. Let me see what y'all think. I think it does. I do think pineapple goes on pizza because I'm like, it's just that zesty flavor, man. And the honey. I mean, not the honey, the ham. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I think pineapple is busting on pizza. That's just me. So that probably came out. Wow. Damn. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hey, who is this? Chick is That's crazy. I know now. I need to just start getting out and walking for no reason. Cause that was tough right there. She came from that side. Yeah, y'all would have saw the chick that just walked by just now. But so, but yeah, so that's one thing I'm thinking about working on this week is getting to work like 10, 15 minutes earlier. My bad for circling back to it, but that's kind of like, well, I'm gonna finish the pet peeves thing. The pet peeves thing simply is when you get in those situations where you have to be able to talk to yourself. You have to be able to check yourself at that moment in time and be like, look, is this worth getting mad at? This makes me uncomfortable, but is this worth getting mad at? So that's my little tidbit there. The next thing I'm going to work on this week is really just getting back on my gym schedule. I've been off on my gym schedule pretty bad. Um, and the reason is because I have one bad habit I have is I'm a gamer, man. I like to get off work after a long day, and I like to game. That's my thing. I like playing my PlayStation, but when it comes to trying to be disciplined and make the appropriate choices, doing the right thing, you got to be able to tell yourself no. You got to be able to be like, you know what? The game is going to be there. It's going to be there. We have a tough time doing that. I feel like a lot of people, because that's the thing, man. You don't want, well, I feel like a lot of people fall short at. I feel like a lot of people unknowingly force themselves into ultimatums. Like people force themselves into where it's like, all right, well, if I don't get online, I mean, if I don't play my game, you know, my game might stop working or I'll never get a chance to play, whatever it is, right? But I feel like we make situations a lot harder than they should be. Nobody said you had to stop playing the game, right? So for me, my mindset is, all right, cool. Well, if I can't play the game, what can I do? You know what? I could just spend some time. I could spend less time playing the game. There's always options. You just got to open up your mind. There's always options. You just got to open up your mind. You know what I mean? Let's see, put some music on right quick. Because I already know this is going to try to. Now, I just don't want this to pull. I hope this don't mess up the live stream. I hope it doesn't. All I'm doing is just playing some music in the background. It's saying it's connecting. It's saying it's connecting. It's what it feels like. Somebody's watching me. Okay, it's still doing its thing. All right, bet. So let me see here. What we got? Is it another one? Oh, I was about to say. Let me see here. I want to get back into meditating, man. I fell off my meditation game heavy. I was not meditating consistently. That's one thing I need to get better at is meditating. Now, hear me out on this one. Now, I know a lot of people like to say, I can't be still when I'm meditating. First thing is you got to recognize you're telling yourself that. I know that's a lot more simpler than when it sounds, talking to yourself, but your self-talk. Because you got to think, they say your mouth is the earpiece. What comes out of here, that's going to receive it. So if you're thinking negative, if you're not speaking highly of yourself, especially when life is getting difficult, what do you think is going to continue popping up? What do you think is going to happen? You know what I mean? It's going to be constant negative energy, man. It's going to be constant bad things coming your way because you're so focused on what's not working. You need to be focused on what's working. I got up today. I didn't get to work on time, but I got to work. I'm not encouraging you to go to work late, but you know what I mean? Like, I had breakfast this morning. I got food. I got water. What you focus on grows.
And once you understand that, once you start to understand that, okay, what I focus on grows, you're going to be more mindful of where you're investing your time and your energy. Straight up. And you also got to be mindful of what's absorbing your energy too. There's a lot of things on the outside that could play a role in that as well. The type of music you listen to, your environment, is there always negative stuff going on? Are you always in the vicinity where the news is always playing? Like I noticed one thing, like sometimes I'll go to a bar, right? And even in the gym, it happens in the gym too. Sometimes I go to these places and there's always at least one or two TVs that are showcasing the news. And I'm like, why this is supposed to be a space of like peace. You know what I'm saying? Well, the bar, depending on how you look at it, I wouldn't really call the bar peaceful, you know what I'm saying? Unless like you vibing with the bartender or something like that. But trying to see if we can get some. I like me some Kid Cudi, man. Kid Cudi's that dude. So what I'm gonna start doing also, just getting back into meditating, is I'm gonna make it an effort to do it first thing in the morning. I prefer meditating first thing in the morning because like, it just helps you set the tone for your day, man. It just makes a there we go. Got a little something going on right there. Cause I didn't know what the hell was going on. All right, cool. But yeah, man. So that's definitely a thing that I'm working on doing more of. It's just getting back in the habit of meditating. I don't know where the hell that came from. So if anybody was trying to get into meditating, if it was me, first thing is I'll get in the habit of just finding something to focus on for a period of time. So whether that be, appreciate that. Probably get rid of that. Let's gonna move that. So focus on being still. Can I zoom in a little bit? I can. All right, cool. So first thing I would do is get in the habit of being still. Focusing on something in front of you. They got some things where you could just focus on, like you could focus on like a red dot in the middle of your wall or some shit, and just focus on it for about maybe 30 seconds. Now, this is going to be tough at first because if you're not used to being still, maybe you have some caffeine. Don't be trying to do all this stuff, man. Like when you're off on things like caffeine or pre-workout or something. Just find some time out your day, bro, and just sit there and just chill. Like do that for 30 seconds. Just locked in. Inhale, exhale. You know what I'm saying? And what this does is that it teaches your body to focus on being still. It slows down your heart rate. What I mean? Your blood's not rushing off crazy. You know, I don't know where that came from. So what I used to do was I like to do deep breathing. So whenever I get ready to meditate, I get in a comfortable position, chilling. Right. I get in a comfortable position where I'm just sitting back, just chilling, just being still. You know, getting a good little stance, and I inhale. Right, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And what that does is that it slows down your heart rate and it allows you to get grounded. It puts you in a position where you could just be focused and still. Because the thing is, what meditating does, it stills the mind. And when your mind is still, you can think clearly. You can move a lot smoother. Your outlook on things is a lot more clear because you allowed yourself to get into a position where your brain can process things. Because think about it. Imagine trying to cook in the kitchen, right? You're trying to cook in the kitchen and you're trying to cook in the kitchen and the whole counter is flooded with dishes. Like you ain't gonna cook or flip anything there because it's covered with dishes. You're trying to make room and space. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing about meditating. And it's also the same reason why they tell you to work on deep breathing. This is why you got sharpshooters and people in the military that are so skilled. And a lot of times it doesn't even have to be that. It could be wrestling, any sport, anything that requires some kind of physical movement, right, at a pace or a speed. You know, you get that breathing under control, man, because you practice that stillness. Like it's like a super athlete. So That's the next thing I was gonna work on. And what was the other thing? I know I said I was gonna get back on my workout routine. The issue with my workout routine is that so I messed up and had like an injury in the past. It never properly healed because poor decision making on my behalf, right? So right now I'm focusing on slowly getting back into it, but I want to get back to working out 3 to 4 days out of the week. I really want to say 3 to 5, but just be aggressive about it. But I got to make sure that I'm tracking my calories. I'm staying consistent with my sleep because sleep was a big one. I struggle with getting my sleep in order a lot because, like I said, I'm a gamer. And a lot of times I either be playing with my friends or I might just get off work late and I'm really stressed, which has happened before. There's been plenty of times where I get off work late and I'm stressed and trying to find and make time to decompress. And it just don't be hitting like that, man. So, but that's one thing I'm working on. So what I want to do is as the week goes on, I'm gonna do just lives. I don't know what time yet. I'm just gonna upload them, let y'all know how things are going, just tapping in with y'all. And I would like y'all to do me a favor too, man. Let me know as well. Um, Let me know what kind of content y'all want to see. I've been trying to find good ways to kind of communicate with everybody and make it known, like, hey, this is the type of content I'm thinking about making. If y'all could just hit up those community posts for me as well too. So I am working on my podcast. I just got to find a faster way to edit it because I like to edit. I like to do my podcast from my computer, but I use like GarageBand and I'm like, that's starting to become an outdated source now. So I might have to try to switch this up and do something different. But that's one thing I'm working on. I got some more stuff I'm cooking for y'all, man, but I ain't gonna give it all out just yet. Y'all just keep rocking with me. Appreciate everybody timing in. So I've been really thinking about when I'm going back to school. I haven't figured out what I want to go to school for yet, but it's gonna kind of benefit because I'm making some products right now for y'all too. It's gonna be free stuff. Don't worry, I'm not charging anything yet, but just got to start somewhere, man. That's the biggest thing that that's the biggest thing I've learned was the sooner you start, the better. Okay, it's gonna be messy. It's gonna be a little bit rough. You're not gonna be as polished. You're not gonna be as clean. Well, but understand that with them reps, that consistency keeps showing up. You have no choice but to get better, man. Straight up. Like there's been times where, like, I've been in this content creation space almost 11 years. I've been working out for almost like 10 years, and it's the same patterns that I see in myself, why I'm not being consistent, why am I falling short. And it's also because I was willing to become self accountable. When you don't learn to be accountable with yourself, man, it's easy for you to give yourself excuses. It's easy for you to slide off track because you're allowing yourself, okay, I can get free out of this. When really you gotta be a little bit tougher on yourself. This ain't about being hard. You know what I mean? You got some people that think being hard on yourself is a key to a degree. I don't call it being hard. I call it being accountable. If you know you've been doing the same BS things multiple times and nothing hasn't came out of it, you haven't grown, progress hasn't been made, you got to be able to refocus and be like, all right, something's not working. I need to pivot. Where do I need to pivot? Why do I feel stuck? Why am I feeling stagnant? These are the things you need to have. These are the conversations you need to have with yourself, because you got to be your biggest supporter by the end of the day. So, and this is something I think about, and I remind myself of these things whenever I get in a pinch, or whenever I feel like life is being difficult, because it's all perspective, man. It's all perspective. I give someone $2 for how many times someone catches how many times I said, because I'm trying to take that out of my vocabulary. Like, but yeah, man, it's just showing up, being consistent, man. You got to be consistent. You got to understand that for you to get anywhere, you got to look at it from compound interest. And you get that compound interest by getting the reps in and staying consistent. I take going to the gym. If you're going to the gym 5 days out of the week and you fall off and you get maybe 2 or 3, I like those 2 or 3. I like those 2 or 3. Those 2 or 3 days are better than 0 days. You feel me? So that's the mindset you gotta have. Not only that, when it comes to like pursuing your goals, stepping out your comfort zone, doing things differently, you're not always gonna be good at first. I'm letting you know that early. And I had to learn that because I promise you, shoot, if I knew what I knew now, I'd be a lot further ahead. But I'm also, that's not saying I'm not grateful for where I'm at either. You feel me? And like I said, perspective is king. How you look at things. How are you looking at your circumstances? How are you looking at your situation? Are you just sitting there, just taking it for what it is, just letting things fall apart, letting life happen? Or are you taking control? Are you taking charge? That's the beauty right there, man. That's the beauty right there. Stepping in, taking charge of life. Ain't nobody messing with you. Like it's your way or the highway type energy, and it all stems from just having that love and support for yourself. That's what it is. So I'm trying to think about what I want to meal prep for the week. Got kind of massage that damn my knee hurting and shit. I got these sweats, man, from Timu. Doing a little splurging and shit. I'm thinking about getting some. I'm thinking about getting some jeans from there, but haven't fully gotten around to it yet. So I'm about to end the live here in a little bit, man. About to go in here and vibe with the homies for a little bit. I already got my content made. We're consistent. We're on top of things. Like, what the heck is this? I don't understand. Talk to me nice. I wonder what WNBA games are on. Look, man, I like WNBA. I don't care what nobody says. I feel like if you're a fan of basketball, bro, like I just feel like if you're a fan of basketball, you can't be hating on the WNBA, bro. Straight up. Like I feel like basketball is such a universal sport. You know what I mean? Like you never hear nobody hate on women's soccer. I feel like they don't get a lot of publicity. I can see that, but I don't know. I watch it. That's just me. I like the WNBA. If you're a real basketball fan, you know what's up. You feel me? So shout out to everybody that came through, man. I just saw 124 in a sec. What is this? I just saw 1 to 24 in a sec. OMG. I don't even know what that is. Let me see what we got going on here. Let's see here. So we did a little. Oh, they got little filters and shit. What? That is wild. What are the? That's crazy. That is crazy. Oh shit. Hey, I'm vibes with it. So that's what they got. That's what all these little filters are for. Ah, always smile. Whoa. Oh, that is crazy. Why y'all got me looking like that? Why y'all got me looking like that? I'm about to scare the hell out of somebody. That is so bad, bro. What? All right. That's just doing too much. That is doing too much. Oh, how do I remove it? Oh, how do I remove it? All right, cool. That's crazy. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. This ain't too bad. This ain't too bad. I see what YouTube's trying to do. So let me see what we got going on here. I know what the lighting is on there for. Oh, I see what we got going on. Na, 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 na. Ah. Ah, ah, ah. What is that? Is that the That's wild. So it just clips a whole 49 seconds, huh? No, no, no. All right, gang, we about to end the stream here in about a good 30 minutes. One thing I feel like a lot of people shoot themselves in the foot with, I'll be honest with you, is not knowing how to say no straight up. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that's tight. That made a big ass difference. Cool. So, yeah, man. One thing I think a lot of people fall short at is just knowing when to say no. You know what I mean? Like sometimes we get in these situations where we're afraid of hurting people's feelings, man. That's people pleasing, bro. Straight up. If you know how to speak your mind and be honest, people have no choice but to respect you. That's just the way that it is. And I learned this a little bit late. This isn't saying talk out the side of your neck. This isn't saying be rude. But all this is saying is that when you learn to speak your mind and articulate yourself in a way that's like people have no choice but to respect you, it almost kind of happens naturally. Now you got to gain it too. You know what I mean? Unless your aura and your presence is tough, a lot of us have to earn our respect. And sometimes people are going to put unrealistic expectations on you, but by the end of the day, who cares? The only expectation that should matter is the one that you give yourself. Don't let nobody else's expectations derail you or force you in a direction that's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. You're better than that. Like, and I learned that the hard way too, being able to speak up for yourself, speaking on your own expectations of things. Because I feel like most people don't do that enough because they're afraid of being rejected and ridiculed. And since when was it not okay to be honest? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's just me. Like, let me see here. But it's part of the game, man. But that's what I'm going to start doing. I know earlier I talked about it where I said I was going to start making it a goal to start getting start doing these lives more often. I might do one tomorrow morning before I go to work, because yeah, I might do one tomorrow morning, kind of show y'all what my morning routine is like, just so y'all can vibe there with your boy. I think that'll be easier to kind of do it kind of as like a vlog. Yeah, I like that idea. So I can get more insights on what I'm working on and mindset shift and perspective and everything. But I'm about to go ahead and end it here, man. I appreciate everybody chiming in. I had to see the time right quick. Yeah. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody stopping by, saying what's up. Shout out to the new subscribers. Appreciate y'all. So y'all stay tuned to the next one. This is the first episode. I'm just making it known when I'm about to start building. Just bringing out better content, man. Honestly. So, oh, better yet, I do got a little time to do something else really quick. Let me see here. Ding, 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 bing, da 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 ding, bing, bing, da 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 ding, bing, bing, da 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 ding, da da ding, ding. Let me see what we got going on here. Let me see here. Why is it not saving them? What is going on? Do they just move them to like what the heck? Let me see here. Streaming on Twitch. Why is that even why is that even on there? That is a dumb video producer. Why is that even a setting, bro? Y'all are doing too much. That is stupid. I don't understand it. Why is it even? So you mean to tell me Bro, don't tell me that means I gotta find it again. Are you serious? That is crazy. All right, we gotta make a new one. That's just wild. But yeah, man, it's getting a little dark, so I'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace.